All right. Here's another one for the 15th. I'm going to record today. How easy is it? Oh, sorry. A little bubble in my throat. How easy is it for China, Russia, pretty much any other country besides the United States that isn't in the Western world, quote unquote? How easy is it to make propaganda against them? How easy is it? I mean, it's so easy to, at this point, the U.S. is one of those. I mean, what sort of comparison should I make here? I guess just like the U.S. is like a pit bull. I'm just gonna say that the U.S. is like a pit bull that it seems like pretty much the world over does not like pit bulls. And of course, people say, "Oh, people hating pit bulls, that's an alt-right dog whistle." I know. Okay, well, I'll give you a better one then. You know what? Let's go ahead and say something like, let's say Elon Musk. The U.S. is like Elon Musk. Everybody hates him. Apart from the Spurgs that, think they could be like him. But, it's just so easy to shit on him. And it's low-hanging fruit. It's the same thing that, people want to get mad at, what's the bald guy's name? Hold on. What is the bald guy's name? Let's see here. Oops. Let's see here. What the hell is that fool? Yeah, Jeff Bezos. It's easy to dab on him. That's why he's stepping down. It's just low-hanging fruit. And that's the whole thing about the United States. It's like, it gets boring. It makes you desensitized, dare I say it. But the more you look into politics, this and that, it's desensitizing. Yet another arrest, yet the footage comes out, and all this sort of thing. And I know, being the cracker that I am, people are going to say, cracker, what do you know about it, huh, honky? I'm sure they'd say that. Jive turkey. But it's so easy to do that. It's easy to dab on the U.S. It is. I do hold some glimmers of hope because this is the only country I know. I've repeated that over and over. But I know that we cannot exist in the form that we do. What is that new form going to be? Personally, I think it's separate countries, but that's my opinion. Excuse me. It's so easy to do these things. Why would you want to try something else? You know what I mean? Why would you want to try to portray things in a better way? It's also cover. I mean, particularly for the Chinese. Say what you will, I'm not going to go on and on about Xinjiang, but all they have to do when Westerners, particularly Americans, want to bring up the Hong Kong protests or bring up the Uyghurs, all they have to do is say, what about your treatment of POC and black folks in the U.S.? That's all they have to do. And of course, it's a good strategy, and bring up, the U.S.'s racial animosity and everything else, and the racial caste system and all that business. They have plenty of American-born professors who are in China right now who are doing that. And the links to Nazi Germany and everything else. The U.S., at least from what I can see, is going to continue to lose that war. Now, of course, the thing is, though, is that, the only thing that's really holding us together is financial power and the fact that we still have fairly comfortable lives. And we have our circuses and peanuts, our football and our basketball and whatnot. Made people angry when, basketball players wanted to get, wanted to say something, but yep, they still go back. We're still very idiotic lemmings who still go back to football, still go back to basketball. Sorry, football, basketball. I'm just showing my southernness, aren't I? But, that's where we stand, isn't it? People get mad at Colin Kaepernick all day. And then they'll still. It's funny to me how lefties will still praise Colin Kaepernick for what he's done, but it's like, what has he actually done? It's like he wasn't that good of a player. I don't know. It's not really necessarily a racial thing. It's just he wasn't. And now he's playing the game. The thing is that he's getting millions of dollars from Nike, and yet you have these guys spurging out, I'm gonna burn my Nikes and all that. That was that was a few years ago, but still, it kind of bring it back to the original point is that people, it's like, they'll say, oh, well, we're against accelerationism. Okay, well, then what are you for then? Just slowly boiling the frog? I mean, like I say, so many metaphors have been used over and over for about, 6 or 7 years at this point, People were talking about this back in 2014, everything else. But, I mean, it's been going on. It's just different generations and their, buzzwords and their buzz phrases, And hopefully I can cut myself off enough so I'm not simply repeating their rhetoric, their nonsense words and everything else. But this is where we are, isn't it? I mean, but it's so easy. That doesn't mean I'm going to start making content that, let's keep America together, folks, or I'm going to try to make neocon stuff or whatever. No. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say, be aware of your surroundings. And realize that even when the U.S. breaks apart, same thing as when I was talking about South Africa, the scars will still be there. The overall systems are not going to change. The segregation that existed, it's not going to change. Just as I know, even in the town I live in, primarily, most melanated people, new Africans, whichever term you want to use, black folks, are over on the other side of the railroad tracks, living in the projects, broken up into 3 parts. Versus the, you'll have some middle class brothers and sisters that will, that you'll notice be like, oh, daggum, I didn't know. But that's not going to necessarily change after a revolution, at least not immediately, depending. But, anyway, I think that's all I have. That one went a little bit long and ranty, and I retreaded some stuff that I've said over and over, but I think it's worth saying. That propaganda is easy to make, and frankly, it will begin, it is taking much more root than American propaganda, and the, Fox News or CNBC or CNN, that's primarily for the boomers. And maybe older millennials like me, but for younger folks, for folks from India or, China, wherever the case may be, they're going to go to CGTN. They're going to go to alternative news or whatever, alternate media. So, it's just the changing world that we are in, right? And people are going to hold on to these ideas, and they'll say, well, America was supposed to be this way. We know that it's not always going to exist. Not like it is. And how is it going to look? Well, like I say, you could, be an extremist and start reading books like Camp of the Saints, or you can, imagine it some time when, through time and effort and struggle, we're going to make things more peaceful. I don't know. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle. Anyway, I've made this long enough. I was trying to bring it back around. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoy that. See you later, and bye-bye.